You're listening to the very 60-second episode of the Celtic Crack podcast.
Yeah.
Rawr.
I turned it down.
It's very turned down. Yeah.
Yeah. It was
Will the
always
listeners
way
notice
too
that,
loud.
no?
It will be better.
Yeah.
They'll notice it. It's
Yeah,
usually
'cause
way
they
too loud.
They might get closer to whatever they're listening to it on.
Yeah, you'll be
And
just
then-
listening to the podcast and it's just like, nah.
Yeah.
Take the life out of you. So
And your mother
turned
is
it down.
screaming, "Why is Sean so loud in your room?"
Yeah, welcome back anyway. Episode 62, yeah?
62.
62. Very nearly didn't happen.
Yeah.
Very
Fucking
nearly didn't
Jesus
happen.
Christ. Last minute little crisis there. But yeah, we got it sorted anyway.
Yeah.
Happy
God.
International Women's Day
Thanks, hon.
We have a women.
to all the women's out there.
To all the viewers.
Yeah.
All the women who are
Yes.
independent.
We
Throw
have
your hands
women.
up at me.
We have a woman in the studio with us tonight. Sophie LaTouche, isn't it?
Don't.
Did I say that right?
Dare.
Touchy subject.
It's Sophie LaTouche. Okay.
Sure.
So we get the little ush at the end.
Touche.
Okay.
Yeah. Does
Like
that-
your in the drum.
Sophie LaTouche. Yeah.
Like the kind of at the end of brunch.
Where is
what's that? French, is it? Or?
Yeah, it's
Sounds
French, but my grandfather is actually Indian.
Okay.
And then I don't know what happened, right? I'm not going to lie, but there was something that happened in history. And all the Indians had to go to like the UK. Does that ring a bell with anybody?
Yeah.
What is it?
Like
The time the
after-
Indians went to the
Commonwealth.
Yeah,
I think
the
that was it.
part of the Commonwealth. They
Yeah.
were entitled to English, British citizenship after
Exactly.
Britain handed back India to the Indians.
Yeah, so my grandfather was living over in India and like they were really well to do, and then I don't know what happened anyway, but they weren't well to do anymore, so they went to London and he met my grandmother who's from Limerick over there, and she brought a fella of a different race back in the 1950s.
Oh, so that wasn't
controversial.
okay.
It
back then.
wasn't okay back then.
Brave woman.
Brave woman. And basically she said that these women used to queue up outside the door and they'd knock on the door and they're like, "Can we have a look at him?" Fresh good. Yeah. So
Sick.
fair play to my nana anyway. That's all I'll say. You know, she bared
I said
that cross.
she put up with a lot back then.
Yeah, she would have. Yeah, but I think she was happy to stand out from the crowd as well. She was like, "Look at my fella." Do you know what I mean?
Right.
Yeah.
All right. She loved all the attention.
Loved it.
Where did LaTouche come into it then?
So he was from India, but his ancestors were French.
Oh, so he was LaTouche.
He was LaTouche.
All right, from India.
I didn't take my father's name, so
So he was-
yeah.
LaTouche.
Yeah.
It's every time I see you post something on Instagram, I always read it as Sophie LaTouche.
Okay, well,
That's
say
Even though
it
you
out
know what it
loud
is,
so
like-
I know that you know what it is.
Huh?
Sophie, say it
Oh,
out loud.
Sophie LaTouche. Obviously, I know what it is.
Yeah.
I've
Yeah.
listened to your
Oh,
podcast
Sophie
Were you
LaTouche.
listening to the podcast?
Of course, yeah,
Give him
loads
the
of them.
So he'll know.
There you
in
go.
the last
then.
few weeks.
Which ones were you listening to?
You always go, "Hi guys."
Stop.
I'm Sophie LaTouche.
Hi guys. It's
I give out
Sophie.
about that on this podcast all the time.
Why?
Yeah.
Just Irish people who say guys and
Yeah.
hey guys
I know,
and
yeah.
awesome.
That's
think-
why we brought you on.
Why? 'Cause I
Why
could
do you
say-
do that?
Stop it.
Doing
No,
that.
but do you know the way you're in like, I suppose, see, I always say suppose as well, but you know when you get used to like speaking.
habit, like, yeah.
And then it's really hard to just kind of break that. And I always feel really weird then if I say anything else.
If you don't say hi, guys,
Yeah.
like, oh, well,
Yeah.
lads.
Yeah,
It's like,
yeah.
Yeah, but it's like talking to a child today. In the space of about 20 words, they're going to say like 5 times.
That's it.
I do that.
Yeah,
Never mind
I
the
don't think
child.
that's just a child. I think that's
Like-
just talking to a person today.
It's
Yeah.
like, you know, like
Yeah,
like
Do you know what I mean? Like,
I always say fucking as well.
yeah.
Do you know?
oh,
I'd
I'm
be
a
like,
cunt
so
for it.
last night I was fucking. No. Do you know, I'd be saying, I always, like, it's very hard for me to try and have a conversation with, well, it's not really hard for me, but,
Yeah.
do you know, it's kind of awkward
in
to
a,
not
in a
curse.
situation where you're not supposed to curse, like
Yeah.
you're constantly.
Do you know, I'd
thinking
be
of
like, yeah, so I went down there and fucking, people are like, what do you keep saying fucking?
Yeah.
it. Mikey is often giving out to me over it.
Yeah,
I'd say 2 or 3 sentences, and he'd be like, "You just said fuck there about 15
Yeah.
times." I was
Yeah.
like, I didn't even notice.
yeah, it's fucking. See?
Fuck.
Yeah.
I didn't even mean to say that. Like,
So come here, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead, Jan.
Is it weird having a girl on?
Not weird, no.
How does it feel like? Tell me,
interesting.
what's it mean to you to have a girl in the podcast?
okay, so I spoke to a girl before, so
Okay.
it's not awkward.
Yeah.
So no, it's just normal
Yeah,
to me. Like I
it's
don't see
normal,
a difference.
yeah.
Like
Yeah,
Okay.
it's
I don't see a
interesting.
difference.
I was interested to see if it would change things a little
Like the
bit. you know?
dynamic.
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I
yeah.
told you I was sitting over here because it's my good side.
Oh no, just having a female here, a little
Yeah.
bit of female energy in the room.
Yeah.
There's actually 2 females here.
Yeah,
We should
there
mention Sophie's friend is here as
Yeah,
well.
it's my housemate.
She has. She's sitting over there in a dark corner, and every time she speaks, it sounds like one of those. Do you know when the drug dealers smuggle the drugs in and they come on telly and talk about the story? I asked her how she was a few minutes ago, like, and she was like,
"Well, I'm fine. I'm not too bad. I remember it was about 45 minutes ago when I got here."
all right, so.
And
Yeah,
she
yeah,
looks
yeah.
like an angel, doesn't
She
she?
does. She's got a little flower crown on.
She does.
Well, I don't know what she looks like over that dark corner that she's in.
She does mad fucking TikTok videos.
Yeah, she
Oh, yeah?
does. Yeah.
What's the name again?
Laura Hayes, LAUR underscore.
Laura underscore Hayes, is it?
Yeah,
Or Laura.
Laura.
What would you describe them as? Like freaky gothic kind of stuff or something?
You look like
dark.
the least gothic person I've ever seen in my life with flowers on top of her head.
Yeah, actually, right
opposite
now.
of gothic,
I'll show
like.
you her TikToks after. They're
Yeah.
they're insane. Like
Mad
they're
little
amazing.
things,
What a
Can I
crack.
ask you about your Peppa Pig thing?
Okay, what do you want to know?
So, like, sorry, am I? Is this okay to ask you?
Oh, of course, yeah. Whatever.
So I'm just wondering, like,
Free for all.
when did you start it? Like,
Where was I living? 1 minute, no. That's how I remember years. I remember
Okay,
what
yeah.
I always think of where was I living and what was I driving.
What were you driving, yeah.
And that's how I remember what year it was then. So I'm not living. Yeah, so it was about 2012, I'd say, or something like that. I just started kind of messing around with it.
Yeah.
I remember I got an iPhone 4S.
Yeah.
And I got like a video editor or whatever on that. But I was always kind of making things and doing all that kind of shit anyway. Kind of as long as that shit was available, I was doing
Yeah.
it, like, you know. But I remember I just downloaded the video and just said, fuck it, I'll try and voice it over, because I've seen obviously voiceovers online
Yeah.
and stuff like that. And I got one and it was a Peppa video that I downloaded, like, so I just kind of kept going from there. It was just literally a stupid little one, like where Daddy Pig was walking out of the house and came out, sat on a chair out the front and was reading the newspaper. And I put like 50 Cent in the background and just did a quick voiceover. It's actually on my YouTube channel.
Really?
The first ever fucking voiceover that
Yeah.
I did, like. And yeah, I just, after that then I was like, oh, I'll try another one. I just got stuck to Peppa then, like.
and you still do it?
The odd time, like, I still post very regularly on my page.
Yeah.
But Peppa videos, just the odd time, like,
Yeah.
really, you know.
They're
because
brilliant.
They take a bit of time, like,
take a lot of
not
time,
even way too much time, but it just takes motivation, kind of, do you know?
course,
like, I could
yeah.
sit down, if I have 2 or 3 hours free, that's loads and loads of time to make a
Yeah.
video. But I just have to kind of like, think, okay, I'm going to download a video now. And sometimes I download a video and I'd start voicing it over and I'd be like, it's not funny today, like.
But how do you pick the narrative? Like, as in, poor baby pig and daddy pig are just going to like pick up the groceries, and you're like, yeah, man, he's smuggling, and
Yeah.
you're like, how do you pick that narrative? Like,
I just go off the top of my head. I literally,
It's
I
amazing.
barely. Sometimes I wouldn't even watch the full
Yeah.
clip. Like I
You just talk about it as you
download
see
a
it.
short Peppa clip.
Yeah.
And that's what I type into YouTube, like short Peppa Pig videos or whatever, Peppa
Yeah.
Pig clip or something. I'll download it, and if it's 2 minutes long, whatever, I'll trim it down a bit. But sometimes I'll like just trim it and I'll go, oh yeah, I'll just trim it to here when they're leaving the supermarket, and that'll be long enough of a video, then whatever.
Yeah.
And then I just kind of wing it, like, you know,
Amazing.
when it pop up my memories and stuff like that, or if somebody shares it, a video that I did a year ago or 2 years ago, 3 years ago or something, I literally sit down and bust my whole laughing, like.
Of course.
Because I forget what I said.
Yeah.
Because it's all off the top of my head now. Whereas if I was sitting down writing something for a week or a
Mm-hmm.
couple of days and I had to recite it and fucking everything like that,
It wouldn't be as
then
funny.
it wouldn't be as funny, because I'd be like, oh yeah, I know I'm going to say this, I know I'm going to say that.
Yeah.
So then I'd be like fucking there talking away. I'd be like, yeah, you fucking prostitute. And then I'd be raw laughing. I can't even remember saying that. Like,
Amazing.
So, and I tried with other videos, like I think did I do Dora the Explorer? Or no, I did Ben and Holly's Little Kingdom, and like it got like half the amount of likes at the time.
Okay.
At the time, my page was kind of booming, like.
Yeah.
And I did a different cartoon, and it didn't get anywhere near. So I was like, okay, maybe it was just a bad time. And then I tried it again with a different cartoon, still didn't get anywhere near. So Peppa, people are just tied to Peppa, like.
Can I ask you a question on that, right? Just, and actually for all of you, right? So like, obviously you've got ratings, okay? Or you've got your views and your listens and all that kind of stuff. And like, do you find for all of you, like, that sometimes you might get a little bit caught up in that and it stunts you a little bit?
Oh, 100%.
But then, and then you kind of have this like, fuck, like
Yeah,
I didn't do as
why aren't they
well
getting
or
the likes?
whatever.
Yeah.
So like, how do you pick yourself up after that?
Just keep doing it. Like we started off,
Yeah.
like we
I'm
were
going through
all-
a bit of that. So like,
Yeah,
give me
for
advice.
like the first, I'd say 5 episodes, Walshy wasn't on it at all. So like the rest
Okay.
of us were completely unknown. You
Yeah.
know, and we were like posting stuff and just getting like 10 or 20 likes and shit. We just said we just keep doing it. It'll catch on eventually. Like,
Yeah.
and now it's after just like it's taken off in the last few months. It's madness.
And so you just keep going. You're just like, you
keep
make
going,
a decision to say, do you know what? We're doing it. Like,
Yeah, what happens with
Yeah.
me is I literally I look and I think, fuck's sake, that video didn't do well. And then I think, fuck it, like it's not, do you know, it's not the end of the world.
It's
like,
not like...
I think
just
like
continue on, keep banging it out, people love
exactly,
it.
yeah. One of the most important things I think is consistency. Like once you're
Yeah.
doing it every week, like for every person that finds you, like if you're just doing one here and there because you're losing the motivation or whatever, people could be finding you all along and saying, oh, this one only puts one out every now and then, they don't really get into it.
Yeah.
So if someone sees, for all the people that will find you, if they see that you're putting one out every week, then they might subscribe and start listening to it every week.
And even if you're there and you're kind of thinking, like I'll be there sometimes thinking, fuck, what's the point in this? Like, you know, I might have posted something. No, I don't be beating myself up about it or anything like that. You know, I'm getting upset about it or anything like that. But I just kind of think, fuck this shit. What's the point? Like, and then you might have posted a story that morning or something or a video that morning or whatever, and then you'll get a message or someone will reply to your Snapchat story and go, oh my god, this is just after making my day. It's fucking brilliant. You're gas or this blah blah. I think, okay, like I don't sit there and get a big head about it. I just sit there and go, I'm after making that person laugh out today. Like, I think that's fucking great. Like,
I think I had an experience like that. I think season 1 for me anyway just fucking blew off, right? So then season 2 wasn't as busy, and as well as that, I had audio and visual for season 2. So, like,
you started off with just audio, was it?
I started off with just visual actually, because I fucked up the audio from the start. Like, it was by default, but it was actually better that way. But anyway, for season 2, so like it's diluted, so the views on YouTube aren't as big as what they were. So anyway, I'm kind of like going through season 2, and I'm like, Sophie, you're really doing the right thing. And then this girl who listens to me, she's like, my mother just had a hip replacement and she's in bed, right? And I showed her a podcast and she's looking at all of them. And for me, and like that, it's just that little thing that I'm like,
that great for that
Jesus,
woman.
do you know, that makes it worth it. So that kind of helped me to keep going with it. Like, do you know what I mean?
Well, like, I think YouTube, like for us, YouTube is our smallest platform. Like,
is it?
Most people prefer the audio. Like most of our listeners, like we've an awful lot of lads who are truck drivers and lads who are driving tractors. They get Snapchats all day from lads and tractors. Like they all have the podcast playing inside their cars, or an awful lot of people who drive for work. So they just listen to the audio. So
some people have probably never even watched an episode. They probably don't even know about that fifth arm that he has grown out of his neck.
Yeah, exactly.
I saw that actually. I was going to say
there was one girl who got in touch and said like that she went onto the fucking website to see what we look like, and she'd been listening to it for a while. Like,
she thought to be profiled.
She'd obviously never even seen it on YouTube. Like,
it's funny where like the consumption of it comes from, like, do you know, that kind of way. So, and you never know. Like, you never know. You're really just putting yourself out there, and you're like, okay, hopefully I'll get something back from this. Like,
but
you know,
one thing we learned is just because people are not liking it doesn't mean they're not watching it or enjoying it.
I find that
you can still see. Like I'm deadly for that as well. I forget to like things. I could look at something, I think, oh, that's brilliant, and then I scroll on. I have to remind myself to go back and like it.
I find that a lot. Like I could post something on my Snapchat or something like that, and like if you post on Snapchat and you don't, like, there's a lot of times I don't get any replies or anything like that, because the Snapchat people just watch it and there's no way of liking or commenting. They have to actually reply and say it, whatever. So I could post something and I think, that should do well enough, and then I don't get any replies or anything like that, and I thought, must not have been funny or whatever. And I'd see someone then 2 or 3 days later be walking out towards town, they'd see me, and it could be someone I know, like, and their face would light up, and they'd be like, man, that thing you posted the other day about such a thing, I was in bits, I couldn't breathe, blah blah. And I'd be thinking, you didn't reply to it, like, but I wouldn't be kind of, I wouldn't be kind of, I wouldn't be kind of annoyed about it. I'd be just thinking, that's mad. No, like, they enjoyed it so much, but they didn't reply. So I have to realize, we all have to realize, like, there's actually people out there like that who just watch it but don't bother replying. And most people, not even most people, but a lot of people would think, like, sure, they're fucking loads of people following, they're not going to reply. I try my best to open people's Snapchats and reply to them on Facebook and Snapchat, everything, because there's a lot of people there that are just like, oh yeah, cool man, sound, and reply. And then there's other people, fucking, I love what you're doing, it's great, keep up the good work, make me laugh every day, and blah blah.
Like, it's lovely to get those messages.
Other people then are like, oh my god, I can't believe you replied and stuff like that. No, so I just think it's great to fucking, if I'm able to, then I'm going to do it. You know what I mean? I just can't understand people who don't bother doing that. You know, because it does make a lot of people happy.
Like what she said there, I was wanting to work the other day, and a young lad was out smoking a cigarette at his lunch break outside work, and he said, keep up the podcast, man, it's great. Like, a shout out to him, never got his name, I never do, you know.
You never ever do, like. His dad was like, your man with the black hair, shout out to him.
Every time me and him were during the Christmas, weren't we, in around town? A lot of people we met, and it was that same fella. Remember, he kind of
what he couldn't say it. Yeah. He was like, quack, quack. What's it called?
But the amount of people who said that they enjoy it, they love it, it gives them something to watch.
It's amazing. It's amazing watching it grow. Like, that's the best part for me, I think. And all the different countries, like, it's just insane. Like it's weird. In Ireland, our biggest city is Dublin. I told you that today.
Is it?
The biggest city, yeah, by far, like, it's Dublin.
That's amazing.
And then Limerick. It's a bit of a sickener.
Just because of population or what?
I don't know. Probably, yeah. I suppose there's a fucking stupid amount of people.
Do you know what? No, it's just after coming into my head. People in Dublin spend a lot of fucking time in traffic.
Yeah, that's it as well. Yeah, it's the commute. So they're
thought of that.
They're big into their old
smarty pants.
Check out the big brain on Brad.
They're big into their podcast in Dublin because of that. Like,
I was only listening to Today FM, I think it was the other day. Oh, it was Today FM, and they all they did this day where they swapped radio shows. Everybody on the station did somebody else's show.
That's so
cool. It was something to do with fucking, I don't know, Robinsons or something, not a crowd who make the diluted drinks, whatever. It's like some mix-up thing that they have now, so they mix up the radio station, some sponsorship for them, whatever. But there was one fella coming in, he was like, Jesus, the difference in the traffic coming in, and he was saying he was waiting ages in traffic, so maybe that's what's after making it come into my head now. Like, some people spend hours in traffic
as well, being so there in the city centre, they're all renting outside of the city and commuting into work into the city.
Yeah, you always hear people even say that, like, the latest episode is up for your Monday morning commute and all this kind of stuff, like, because they know people are doing that. Like,
I cannot get my head around people who, I suppose some people don't have any choice, but if people do have a choice, but they choose to drive like to a different county and stuff like that for their job, I wouldn't be able to do it. Like, no.
But you know what? Some people, one of my friends, she lives in Limerick and she works in Cork, and she gets the bus down
every day.
No, it's like 3 or 4 times a week.
Okay, yeah.
She brings a hot water bottle. She listens to the Blind Boy podcast, and she's like, it's my fucking time to relax.
She likes it. Like,
so I'm sure like people that might have kids or something, they're like, I'm away from those fuckers another hour. Do you know? So you never know. Like,
different, I suppose.
That's it. Like, do you know?
Some lads go to college in different counties and they get assignments done and everything on it, reading whatever they have to do on the way down and back.
It's probably just because I kind of hate my own company anyway. I don't like being on my own, so maybe that's what it is.
He can't sit with himself, you see. That's what
I pure love being by myself.
But there a couple of years ago, I'm kind of got a bit better now, like, but a couple of years ago, like, I'd be sitting at home and just trying to relax or whatever.
Out
like,
the door.
No.
Why though? Why is that?
Yoga. He's getting
because it's just
like, let's get
bored.
Because I just don't. Can we put these seats down low? No? But I don't know. It's just like I don't enjoy my own company. Like, so it's just I feel like I don't know. Is it
like you get energy from other people and you kind of, that's what kind of drives you? Does that mean you're an extrovert?
Well, I don't know. Is it that? But it's just like kind of I just get bored.
Bored.
I think it's just boredom.
Can't sit at home.
I think it's obvious he's an extrovert. I know he's far from introvert.
Yeah, I probably am. If I knew what that meant, I'd tell you. I don't know. I just feel bored on my fucking head. Like, be sitting there, I'd be like, oh, make something to eat, like. No, I'll go and get something. I'll go and get a takeaway. I'd
go for a spin, yeah.
Like, but I'm after. That's after changing. The last couple of years, I'm after fucking learning to. Just
do you think that would be over all the years of being, say, doing the boy racing and the cars and always being on the go?
That was never a boy racer.
Well, I heard you were through the race.
Like Coronas and shit. Like, you can't be a boy racer on 1.3.
Being part of that kind of scene, always being on the go.
No, but that's probably why I was part of that, because I'd be sitting in home bored at night time and I think, what I do? Oh, I'll call down, there's 15 lads there down the petrol station. I go down and talk to them. You know? So that's probably what it was. But it's after changing the last couple of years, I can kind of do it now, blah, blah. But
how did you learn how to do that though?
I don't know. It just happened. I think it just happened itself. Like, I'd literally go out, sit into the car, start it and think, where am I going?
Yeah.
He's a man racer now.
Do you know? Go get ice cream. McDonald's.
It's not a boy racer no more.
It's a man racer, a man cruiser.
So anyway, we haven't even mentioned the name of your podcast is Fur Coat No Knickers.
Yeah. Where did you get the name?
Yeah, we had a bit of a debate about what that even means.
We've heard the phrase, obviously, but what does it mean to you?
Okay, what does it mean to me? All right, so it's
like when you have a fur coat, right?
Can I tell you what it means to me?
Yeah, what does it mean to you?
It sounds like my understanding of that phrase was always like lady in the street, but a freak between the sheets.
And I had a different. I said something different then, didn't I? I was saying what it sounds like to me is like somebody who's all like proper to the public,
host
like proper to the public, but then not like that in real life or whatever. That's just
that's
my take on it.
What's your take?
Your take is that you're just basically saying people are full of shit. Okay. And simple as they can go around the place thinking
we're all wrong.
This, and
so I'm going to take all of those on board, right? And the way that I suppose the way that I saw myself, like, because, do you know, I have a lovely little Instagram and I look fucking fab on Instagram, right? Do you know, and it's your best foot forward. And that's literally all of you. Anyone that has an Instagram, that's literally, it's your best foot forward. That's for a coat, right? But then underneath it, like, you're fucking falling apart. Like, do you know, if you're having a bad day and you're putting the covers over you, you're not going on talking about that, or you're not going on putting up little selfies about that. And I think, like, it's actually so funny. Like, I had a little brainstorm with my friend back in March, say, before I even started recording, and I put fur coat, no knickers in the middle of it, right? And kind of did a little brainstorm, and like everything that was coming off it was raw sexuality, like the truth, all that kind of stuff. And I just felt like by calling it that, it really kind of opens up any guest that I have coming on. If you're not willing to talk about your personal life or something that's happened to you and the truth about it, then you can go fuck yourself. And it's as simple as that.
But like I said, don't come on talking shit.
Don't.
Be yourself. Be real. Be true to yourself.
And that is the way I describe my life. Like, do you know what I mean? Because it does look like I have a great little thing going on the Instagram side of things. But you know, you have your daily
Everybody
shit.
Has their problems. Like,
that's it. Like, exactly, so I felt like it was a nice novelty to call it fur coat, no knickers. One, to obviously grab attention, but then two, it's self-explanatory. Like.
It makes sense too, because that's the way everybody lives their lives.
You're not portraying an image of yourself and being false. What you're trying to say is, I'm real, this is the true me, here I am, take me.
Yeah, and then take me the way I am. But you know, like the stuff that we've talked about on the podcast, I mean, there's sugar daddies.
I've listened.
Have you?
Yeah.
Sugar daddies. The titles. I didn't
sugar
listen.
Daddies.
I was busy.
That's offensive. Glucose Guardian.
Oh my God, yes. A glucose guardian.
I saw that on Facebook.
Anybody out there want to be my glucose guardian? No. But like, there's sugar daddies. There's microdosing on LSD. There's kink. Lads, we talked about knife play. I never fucking knew that existed.
Oh yeah. I listened to that episode,
Knife play. Do you know what that is?
Oh. What's that, like pretending to be a murderer or something? Like, while you're having sex?
Yeah.
Just
you don't pretend.
I'm going to kill you. I'm really going to ride you, but we're pretending I'm going to kill you.
Yeah, they do that thing again.
Yeah. Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah.
What was that girl's name again?
That's Leah Stunden.
Leah.
So, like, I mean,
that was the first episode that I listened to. I don't know why that one caught my eye, but I said it.
Well, there you go. Like, I mean, it opened up so much for people. And then, okay, lads, have you heard of straight gays?
Yeah.
No. I've heard. I was working in a factory before I did straight days, but
no, straight gays. I'm going to explain this, right? Okay. Because it's a term that I came up with myself, right? Well, me and my housemate Cian Duggan, right? So basically, a straight gay is, don't get uncomfortable now if you suck some dick. I'm joking. But basically, a straight gay is this man that like goes along his life and he's either married or he's in a relationship. He's got kids
with a woman, like
with a woman.
Okay.
But he slyly goes to get sexual gratification by penetrating a man or getting a blowjob from a man or whatever it means, right?
Okay, but that's not his preferred thing.
No, nobody knows about it.
And he's not just living the life with the wife and stuff to
he's still
to
living
hide that he's actually
life.
Gay.
But you see, they're not actually gay. They just like the sexual gratification of
or the thrill
it's
of
the taboo of it. That's what
it's not even that. It's they like how fucking tight an earth hole is or something. I don't know.
Women have them too, you
know. Laura there behind
but like
explain it to you.
Laura,
it's psychological.
Step in. No. But anyways, that's what straight gays are, right? And I did a full podcast with a guy that I lived with because I saw it firsthand. I saw these guys and I'm telling you lads, I see them around town and they're fucking hoods up walking out of the house and I'm like, I saw you come in last night. I heard your dick being sucked. Genuinely. I could tell you some stories, but I wouldn't call anyone out. But anyway, so that's the kind of stuff we talk about in the podcast. Sorry, I'm probably going to stop it there. You better listen.
Like, do you know the way like people kind of live the life if they're with a woman or whatever and they live kind of secretly gay but have kids and stuff like that and then end up coming out as gay. So do you reckon there's people that are just like that but like to go off and do those gay activities but not actually ever come out?
They're not gay. Yeah, they're not gay.
Yeah,
they're not gay. They're straight gays.
Bi?
Would
you say they're bi? No,
I wouldn't say
Cork,
they're bi.
I would say a high percentage of them is the fact that cocaine is rampant within this country.
Okay, so you're saying coke makes you horny?
No, I'd say
Makes you gay.
I may say make them go any way they want. I'd say it just turns them into.
I don't think so, lads.
It lowers it. It would lower their.
I don't know. Look,
standards, like
I'll put it to you like this. One example, right, is this guy was texting my housemate for months, right?
Okay.
Good morning.
And your housemate is straight or?
He's gay.
Okay.
So, good morning. Hi, beautiful, whatever, right? So they were practically in this digital relationship, okay, let's just say. And this guy comes over. He brings over a nice bottle of Merlot. I was like, how are you, hon?
Yeah.
Sitting down, sitting in the sitting room, chatting, talking away, whatever. Himself and my housemate go up to the bedroom and banging away. After about 5 minutes, like a bit of a boom, 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 right? And then after about 5 minutes, I hear him leaving and I'm like, hon,
I only lasted 5 minutes?
I was like, that sounded fab. Like, why is he gone? You know? And he's like, well, his phone started ringing. And when his phone started ringing, a picture of a child and a woman came up and it said, my love. So my housemate's going from behind and he sees this and he goes, sorry? And he goes, yeah. And he's like, what's going on? And he's like, oh, that's just my wife. And he's like, you have a wife. Like, you have a wife. So bear in mind now that my gay housemate was in this emotional digital relationship with this man.
Yeah, he was attached to him. He thought that there was
didn't realise that he had kids and a wife. And then your man's like,
I'm off home to my family.
Do you know what I mean? Like,
oh yeah, and what's his name again?
That's fucking
Jesus. That's Philip
listen to the podcast. Straight gays everywhere is what I called it. Everywhere.
Yeah, must give it.
Well, I have a gay friend, and he told me the same. He said they'd be texting him and they'd be saying, she's gone away now with the kids, I've free time. And
I would have always just said though that was someone that was gay and didn't want to come up with it.
Like the whole situation with Philip Schofield. Just living the life, but actually secretly gay.
So would you say they're bi, or would you just say they're straight, or what?
I just think they're dirty animals that would just take it any way they can in any situation.
Why?
You know?
So bisexual people are dirty animals?
Not dirty, I wouldn't say they are.
Well, but like if they're married
they're
with kids and still
just doing it to their
meant
partner.
To be bi. They're saying, this is my identity, this is who I am.
They're at least being honest.
Exactly. But on nights out and in these nightclubs and all that, lads, today, ye haven't a clue what's going on with these people. They're watching,
Some of them
influenced. It's what they're influenced by. They're influenced by porn.
Yeah.
They're watching it from a very young age. They're going out now, young kids, and they're only all 21, 22, and things are getting up to, I'd say, with make my hair even fall out even more.
Yeah. I'll tell you a quick one and then I'm going to leave it at that.
Because they think it's natural, it's normalised to them, you see.
Yeah.
So you're just on about people doing that to their partners, like, is it?
Yeah, but it's the younger generations that's coming up doing it because...
No, but I'm saying this situation that Sophie's talking
doing
about
it to their partners, people that are married, maybe they were homosexual or whatever before, but today now with the youngsters, they don't think twice about it.
And do you think that's okay though? I think it's okay. I mean, if you're sexually interested in
to be bisexual,
we grew up.
If you're like going, sure, look, I'll try this, I'll try that. Like, do you think that's
okay? As long as no one's getting hurt.
Yeah. As long as they're not cheating on their partners.
Exactly.
Then who's to say what's right or wrong?
Yeah.
You know?
We grew up in the institutional ways. Church, sex is wrong, sex is bad. You know, so we still have them kind of ways where it's a bit.
I didn't grow up like that.
You know, but like between two men or two women or whatever, like, you know, it's still a bit like if I don't want people knowing about me and what I do, like, you know, so but them out there, the youngsters don't care because they don't have any of that.
What I found, like, when I was younger, and if somebody said, oh, do you know, if you saw two men together or whatever, and you're young and immature and you don't have the, do you know, you don't know, like, obviously you're going to look and think, oh, that's weird or whatever, but when, you know, years ago, but now it's so normalised and we have a better understanding, and, you know,
it's kind of more power to you when you see them.
So now I'm not old fashioned, like, do you know what I mean? I'm there looking, going, yeah, fair enough, if that's your partner, fair enough. It's not to do with me. Do you know?
Massively, when, like, obviously the law was passed that, you know, the same sex could get married and stuff like that, like, I think it made a massive difference to people's perception. Do you know?
And now the kids are growing up with that being normal. Like, my daughter's 11, and in school there was a situation where it was, I think Valentine's Day was coming up or something like that, and one child made a card for another child of the same sex. So I want.
Okay, amazing.
And she said to me, like if she says something to me
That's
and
amazing.
I don't know what way she's saying it to me, I'll kind of just stay quiet and let her explain more rather than me reacting first. So I was driving along, she was in the back of the car and she says, this such a person made a card for such a person for Valentine's Day. So I was waiting for her to see would she make fun of it or was she okay with it or what? Because obviously if she made fun of it, I'd tell her it wasn't right, whatever. But and I was like, right. And did they give it to them or whatever? And we're like, no, they want to wait until they're not in school so nobody will see in case people make fun of them. And she was like, why would they make fun of them? Like I said, exactly, love, that's right. I said, because if one person likes another person, it doesn't matter, I said. And she was like, yeah, exactly, like it'd be mean to make fun of them. I was like, yeah, lovely. And I was there thinking to myself, I'm
that's
doing
amazing.
a good job. Like, no.
If
that
he
really
was
is
a
amazing.
bigot, no. If he was a bigot and he said something negative towards that, then her whole perception growing up would be
that impression.
That is
would
wrong.
be, yeah.
Like if I turned around and I said, what? They can't. Sure, what? Or if I laughed at it or whatever. But I wouldn't because it's not.
Of course.
It's normal, like, you know. So I'm glad that she actually understands that. Like
That's an amazing story. That's an amazing kind of point to bring into it, I think, because it is being normalised kind of in the younger generation.
Which is
It's
good.
kind of we need to catch up. Do you know that kind of way? So yeah. So I have a gay fella.
We need to
that
catch up.
If you want to try it out, you know,
I'm good.
try it out.
he's
Like.
fab.
Hold on, what's his number?
What was the story you were just going to tell there a second ago?
What was I going to tell?
I don't know. You said I'll tell you a quick one and then I'll leave it at that.
Oh yeah.
The 5-minute ride. That was the quick.
No. So last story anyway about straight gays and how it's not done in the right way, right? So this guy was out with his wife.
Just a different guy now altogether.
This is a party that I was at, not the one that I was telling you about, but a different one.
Not this one.
Not this one.
Okay.
Not the one where they're all touching each other. Anyway.
The miniature penis.
So we're all at this party, and next thing anyway, one of my gay friends, not the one I'm talking about, goes, "Do you see that fellow over there that's married? I really fancy him." And I was like, okay, he's married, don't worry about it. Anyway, 6 months later, he comes up to me and he's like, "Do you remember that night?" And I was telling you that fellow was whatever. And I was like, yeah. And he goes, "Yeah, I rode him in the toilet."
That night?
Yeah, he was out with his wife.
He was
Silence.
out with his
He was
wife.
out with his
The
wife.
night that he told you, he rode him that
He
night,
said-
or did he ride him that night at
No,
the party?
he rode him that night. Like the night that he told me at the party, he
had
said,
just-
"See that fellow over there?" And he rode him that night. Now I didn't know until 6 months later, and that's like fully like 100%. So that's the shit that happens, lads.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Just people, I suppose, looking for something different. And
Yeah.
so they have to be bisexual.
Do you think?
They have to be, because how would they be?
Either-
I
Like
think-
that's what I couldn't understand about the whole Philip Schofield thing. Like, if he's gay, or anyone, if anybody is gay, how can they, get turned on and do that act with a female if they don't find females attractive or they're not?
Yeah.
Because I know, like, if somebody said to me, just pretend you're gay and go off with your man, then I'd be like,
you
you
can't.
can't do that. Like,
Yeah.
I'm not attracted to men. Like, I can't do that because I'm straight. Like, so I just can't. Like, if he lived all those years of his life, having sex with a woman and everything like that, then how can he say that he's actually gay? Like, would that not just be bisexual if you're able to?
I don't know.
If you're able, because I physically wouldn't be able to have sex with a man. Like, so because of being straight. So if
Would you have a threesome though with another man?
No, but say if you grew up,
Okay,
right?
whoa. We didn't get a yes or no.
Say if we
that's
grew
just
up,
not.
right? Say if we grew up and we didn't grow up in a society where they told you that men and women pair up and they go off, they marry, they have kids.
Yeah, I don't agree with that.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah,
like,
no,
you
no.
have to look at it this way. And if you grew up in a society where they told you at a very young age, it's okay to go off with men and women go off with
Don't
women
think
and
that
all
was-
that.
Yeah,
Would you think then? Would you think it'd be different?
I think,
I don't think
however, whoever you see attractive is who. Do you know?
Yeah.
Because
But-
I think once you hit puberty and you start looking at girls and think, ooh, and you look at fellas and you don't think that.
Yeah.
Do you know? And then I think that's where your sexuality comes from. I don't think it's how
you
you're
could
raised.
just-
like,
I don't think you could raise someone to be bisexual.
I
or
don't
whatever,
like, because it's once I like, people say like, oh, this person was born gay. But I don't know, is it that they're
Do you know
born
what?
gay, or is it that
I
just when
think-
they hit
I
puberty
think,
and
right,
who they find
That
attractive?
there is no right or fucking wrong answer to this,
Yeah.
to be honest with you. And it would actually be really interesting for people to even give their views on it, because it's such a complex issue that if you're walking down the street and you say, Jesus, she looks great or he looks great, whether it's a man or a woman, and then you have a conversation with them
Yeah.
and you have a connection, like, is it bad to actually say, oh, I've got a little flutter in my fanny or a little, do you know what I mean? Like,
but does that
like, is it wrong or right? Like,
it's not wrong. No, it's definitely not wrong. But does that make you kind of bisexual? Like,
I don't know.
I don't know.
So what are you saying? Your feelings are wrong?
I don't think so. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't, like, I just can't understand, like, if someone is fully 100% straight, then how can they find the same sex?
So then, are any of us straight? Is there a spectrum?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Do you get me? Is there a spectrum? What? She's like, wait, what?
Because I don't look, like, I can't even, like, if somebody says to me, oh, your man is very ugly, isn't he?
Yeah.
Then I'd be like, I don't know. Or they'd be like, oh, that fella's beautiful, isn't he?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, sure, I don't know. I don't.
because,
you know, but then again, if you look at someone.
I wouldn't agree with that, no.
I'm just wondering, listen, if we grew up in a culture, if we grew up in a culture where, if we grew up in a culture where the thinking was any hole's a goal, would your thinking be around this?
No, we can't say that because we didn't.
Yeah, but I do.
Penetration, though.
Talk about the birds and the bees. Ride anything.
Penetration is penetration. Do you know
if it wants to ride you, ride it.
Yeah.
But that's the way the word, like the reckon, that's the way the word back in the Greek and the Roman times.
Yeah, they were all swinging dick.
Yeah. Do you know what I mean?
Well, gee, I think you should try a thing or two.
And mankind still progressed on. Like, you know
mankind are wrestling? No, but...
So I don't know if it's a case that we're neither straight or bisexual and eventually everyone's just going to be riding. I don't know.
Yeah, but I don't know, like...
Not in our time, but
obviously, like,
wait now, I don't know about that now.
Do you know when
coronavirus?
People,
getting awkward.
These old-fashioned people who say like, "Oh, gay people are wrong and they shouldn't be doing that," and blah blah blah. But that's what that's who they are attracted to. Like, so it's So who's to say that they can't? So that's the way that they're sexually orientated, and you can't just change that by raising them a different way. I don't think
you can't.
Yeah.
Do you know? Because
so
if
you're saying it's nature, nature nurture debate.
Of course,
so
because people,
nature wins.
It's nature wins.
Because if somebody,
in that situation,
I don't ever remember anybody telling me when I was young, "Oh, you women know who you have to go after," because I've always heard of, like, there's people from my generation that turned out to be gay, like, and so if that was the case, like, we all kind of grew up the same. So we weren't raised in a different way to say, like, that their family was telling them, oh, whoever you want to. You know,
but then is that peer pressure?
It's just how you're wired. Like, it's just how you're wired. If you're gay, you're gay. If you're not, you're not. Like, that's the way I see it anyway. I don't know. Like,
I'm getting confused sitting here talking about it, to be honest. Like,
I believe people are just looking for that more excitement. They started watching it because you read the stories. They start watching it on porn, and then they actually go out and act out in the act of it. Then after
but I think I think you have to be at least like gay or bisexual if you're going to start watching that in porn. Like, I've never went onto a porn site and said, I think I might watch that.
And I didn't watch Two Girls, One Cup and say, pass me over the cup there. Do you know what I mean?
I don't think it's even anything got to do with sexual preference. It's got psychological. It's what their way of really acting out and everything. And it has to be that. It has nothing got to do with which sex or gender you prefer.
Yeah, I think
it's something within them. Something probably happened to them.
We were talking about that before as well. We were talking about, like, I was listening to some fucking talk or whatever about they were talking about pedophiles, and one fella was saying that, like, he doesn't believe that any pedophiles are actually attracted to children. They get off on doing something that's really wrong, like.
Oh, yeah?
So that's what
same with rapists. It's like they tell a woman, tell the rapist, all right, take me, and they'll say, no, I don't want that.
So is it more like the role play of it, like?
It's just the whole thing of, like, taking the power and doing something that's so wrong. They get a kick out of that, like, and then, like, people get sexual gratification in all weird ways. Like, you have sexual sadists who get sexually turned on by hurting people. Like, they don't even have to like be having sex. Like, they could be just slapping the shit out of a woman or whatever, and they're getting seriously turned on by it. Like, that's a sex. And then you
what's it called? Sexual
sadist. You know, like S&M. It's like sadism and masochism.
Like we're usually saying, you give a man sex on tap, and he will not like that at all. It is the chase. Well, the men we're talking about, if a man is willing to go off with another man, it's the chase. It's the wrongness of it.
It could be like,
it's
I don't know,
it's
like
the seedy and the dirtiness of it.
For some people it would be, yeah.
Like
for some people it's the sneaking around.
It's like the vulnerable women you see around Limerick. They're vulnerable, they're homeless. Some men get turned on by that.
Really?
Yeah, it's their vulnerability that turns them on. That's what they like about them, and that's the sick part about it, yes. But if you give them a woman that's not vulnerable, they wouldn't do it for them.
Yeah.
Is that why I'm single?
So you're saying there, you're saying it perfectly there now, some people.
Yeah.
So that means that some people are straight and some people are bisexual, no matter what is getting them. So you can't say
a lot of people are damaged.
You can't say just because they're like that doesn't mean they're also bisexual. Like, and you were saying about when you meet someone, you think, oh, blah blah, and you're getting the flutters and stuff.
So you were talking about you, like a female, like
Like, I mean, I don't know. I think women are beautiful. Like, do you know what I mean? I'd look at a girl and I'd be like, Jesus,
girls are like
she is
women
fab.
like that,
Do you know? But then I'd look at a fella and like I'd be like,
but do you be envy?
You'd say what?
I'd be like, I would,
yeah. Because
do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So there is that more. But I could still appreciate a beautiful woman, like, do you know, that kind of way?
I think that's a woman thing though, isn't it?
Yeah, maybe.
I think, no, because...
Yeah, well, it is.
I've come
more
across
so with women,
I've come across a lot more women...
don't worry, you're fighting.
Who'd say...
Gorgeous.
I've come across a lot more women who'd say, like, oh, your one is beautiful, or...
Yeah.
I've even heard some girls say, like, oh, look, Jess,
even
when
I meet my friend, she's gorgeous.
Yeah, but I think they're only trying to see our reply and our reaction.
To that thing that you talked about, envy, though. Like... I can see, you know, with Instagram and stuff, and you're scrolling, right? And you see these Huns and they've got like these arses and these waists, and you're just like, how do I look like that?
Ross is thinking about signing up on Instagram now.
Am I?
Are you on Instagram?
No.
Jesus, look, we'll do that after. Oh, but what I'm saying is, like, there's a part of you, obviously, a part of me when I'm looking at that I'm like, oh my God, I wish I had that. But I'd never, ever resent anyone for having it. It would be a goal to work towards. But there is people out there that would
hate that person.
Does that happen with men as well, though?
Like, it happens with men too.
No, but if, like, not looks wise, but if they have a better car, if they have a better house, 100%. Does that happen?
Yeah, but I've seen that loads of times.
I have the self-awareness to have self-acceptance. That's me. I have that.
So what does that mean to you, though? What's your self-acceptance?
I accept what I have and what I look at, individually. Yeah. So I don't look outside myself.
I think that's
me with the awareness. A lot of people.
How did you get that awareness, though? Did you do courses? Did you
personal development?
I'm doing personal development, group therapy at the moment.
You will get
fucking
that.
Amazing.
Self-acceptance is key. Yeah. Then whatever anyone has outside of you will not matter.
And you know what they say as well? Like, if you just fully be yourself, if you don't try and imitate other people, and you know, sometimes when you're thinking, should I have said that? You go away from someone, you're like, should I have said that? Do I look okay today and stuff? And I think, like, instead of this thing called confidence, it's about self-acceptance, is what you're saying. So where you are right now, whether, like, I know that I'm the heaviest I've ever been and whatever, but like at the same time I'm like, no, do you know what? This suit is the biggest size I've ever bought, but it looks fucking fab. Do you know what I mean? And like,
that's self-acceptance.
I was in Penny's the other day and I was like, sure, you can't get that size. And then I was in the other size and I looked like shit in it. And I was like, Sophie, do you know what? Yes, you can get that size. So it's about that self-acceptance and not beating yourself up over...
Being comfortable,
being comfortable in your own skin.
But the last thing you need to do is other people's thinking for them.
Yeah.
Like, what are people going to think of me in this?
Exactly,
so what do you think about you?
Yeah. Most cases, like, with all that shit, with the negative comments and shit online, that's other people being insecure. Like, when they see you doing something great, like, they might see you doing your podcast or whatever, they'll be like, fucking bitch. It makes them feel bad because they're not doing anything with themselves, so they lash out on you then. Yeah. So, like, shit like that wouldn't bother me in the slightest.
I don't actually think I've gotten much of that, though.
Yeah, we haven't either.
I haven't either, and I'm at fucking this shit for a long time, like, and
watch this now, it's all gonna start.
No, I mentioned this a couple of times, but I don't really get negative things.
That was
a fella actually only messaged me there. How long ago? Remember I told you about that? You were actually in my house and you were on the couch, and I said some fellas have to Snapchat me there, and he had like a funny fucking username on Snapchat. It was like some fella called, we'll just say fucking, I don't know,
how's your Mickey?
A funny name or something like that. And I opened up the Oak and it was like, what did it say again? Something like, you useless bastard or something like that. Fucking claim the dole or some shit like that. And I wrote back, claim the dole, and put up 40 Snapchats a day while I'm at work. Really, like, and then I just blocked them straight away. Because I just don't need, do you know, I laughed at it, like, do you know, because it's stupidness, like, and I posted about it then about 2 days later. What was it again? I can't remember, but I posted something anyway. And I was like, oh, fuck it, I was at work and my hands were black with the dirt. I was changing a set of brake pads in a van and my hands were manky. And I took a picture of my hand and I said, some fella tried to say that I was a fucking useless cunt on the door and blah, 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 whatever. And I took a picture of my hand. I said, how could I go claim the door and I'll wreck the post office with my dirty hands, blah, blah, blah. And then I wrote underneath it, P.S. I don't give a fuck who's working. I don't give a fuck who's on the dole. You do whatever you do.
Yeah.
And it's nothing got to do with me.
Exactly.
I'm not going to judge anyone for being unemployed. Everybody has different circumstances. I was unemployed for a long time because I chose to look after my daughter and not put her into childcare.
That's amazing.
That was why I was unemployed for a while. But I'm not anymore. I'm back to work now. She's old enough.
Yeah.
I'm back to work a good couple of years now. But I did stay out of work for a good while to do that. And that was my choice to do it. Do you know, so I don't judge anyone for being unemployed or working.
Hold on now a minute.
It's all the one.
Really, if you were doing that to look after your child, you weren't out of work.
Yeah, you weren't.
Oh,
I know, but
that's the perception.
That's how people see it, like.
Yeah.
Do you know? And I don't care who'd judge me because of that, because some people are like, oh, work. Work is more important. It's not.
Yeah.
My relationship with my daughter is more important to me than how much I'm earning a week. I don't give a fuck. Because if I had to go into a job and work 6 days a week, I won't do it. If I go into a job 5 days a week, then I have 2 full days with my daughter, and then I have a couple of times in the evening as well that I can spend time with her, because I want to spend as much time with her as possible. So if somebody says, oh, your dream job is there 6 days a week, I'm not doing it. There's not enough time left over to be with my child. And that's what's most important to me.
It is, yeah.
Not earning. Do you know?
Well, I got Lyme's disease like 2 years ago.
Okay. Saw that on Instagram as well. Yeah, you posted something.
Is that what Justin Bieber got diagnosed
Yeah,
with
I was
recently?
delighted he got it. No offense, sorry, Justin.
Did you give it to him? You did?
I did. No, but you know what?
What I wanted to ask you was, like, I've known about that for a while, and I know that you get it from a tick, isn't it?
Yeah.
But, like, did you get it in Ireland?
No, I was actually, it's funny, I was working out in the Hamptons out in New York, and I was doing I was working kind of in this resort sort of a place, and actually Justin Bieber was in there one night, so I'm like, me and Justin got it together, girl. But basically the place where I was, which is called Montauk in New York, and Lyme, Connecticut, which is a place in Connecticut, was across the pond. And basically it originates from there.
That's why it's called that, is it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why it's called Lyme disease. And apparently 70% of the tick population over in Montauk is infected. Fuck. So when I went out there, like I went out for 2 summers, and when I went out there, they were like, be careful of the ticks. And I was like, what are you on about? And it's like, lads, I'm telling you now, it's like this whole fucking coronavirus thing, and people are like, oh, it's this and it's that, and you never think you're going to get it. But hun, let me tell you, I never fucking thought I'd get Lyme disease. So anyway, so I got Lyme disease, and I got so fucking sick, lads. I got so sick. And like that, I had to go on disability for a little bit because I wasn't able to work full time. Like, I always had 3 and 4 jobs my whole entire life. And I look fine. Yeah. I look fine today, but like last week I wasn't okay.
But that's...
and Laura, you can vouch for me. How fucked up do I get sometimes? I can't move, like.
How does it affect you, like?
So it's multi-systemic, like, so it affects your whole body. It affects your nerves, your memory, it affects your cognitive skills, it affects your muscles. Like, there was about 3 months ago, I woke up and I couldn't walk. Like, I was walking around I wasn't walking, I was crawling around on all 4s, and like 4 or 5 days passed and I couldn't fucking stand up, lads. And I'm not joking with you. Like, Laura, can you back me up here? Like, and I look fine now, but like, it fucks you up. So anyway, I'm like, what do I do? So I went to physio, didn't work, went to the regional. Sure, they gave me morphine and diazepam and we're like, there's nothing we can do, sorry. And I'm still like in this pain, but I'm high on drugs, and I'm like, what's going on? Like, but there's a guy that I go to, he's an energy healer, and he's a physio as well. He's the only guy that seems to be able to get me out of the states that I get into when stuff goes really bad. But it's like that. It's when I work too much or when I put too much pressure on myself, that's when I flare up. So
is there no cure for it then? No,
there's no fucking cure for it, lads.
And so the treatment just kind of suppresses it some of the time.
And I didn't even
just come back whenever.
Yeah.
Could you the effects of it?
Tomorrow now, because I ran an event today, and because I'm here in the podcast tonight and I'm having a great time using loads of energy, I could wake up in the morning and I'm like, I can't do today. Fuck. And that's the reality of my life now, like, you know. But at the same time, in saying that, when something like that happens to you, I think it was the best fucking thing that ever happened to me. I know that sounds weird, but lads, I honestly wouldn't take it back for the world, because
it just kind of makes you appreciate life more.
Come here. It puts things into perspective. It puts the people in your life into perspective. It puts your own morals, your own goals. It puts where you put your time and energy into. As I said, I had 4 and 5 jobs at a time. I burnt the fucking shit out of myself. So I would have ended up dying from a heart attack, and I'm not even joking, because I was on the go all the time. And it just makes you stop and realise, okay, like you need to mind yourself.
Yeah,
like,
take care of yourself first.
you know, and it's hard, but it's the best thing that ever happened to me.
Than complaining about stupid little insignificant things as well.
Yeah.
Because when you have something like that puts it all into perspective.
All into perspective.
That just goes to show as well, like when you were saying you had to go on disability and stuff like that, you know, there's people like that, and if they can't work or whatever, and some people are just looking at them going, is that useless going not working?
Yeah, but you know why, don't you?
Do you know?
It's the government that has them thinking that way when they're saying report fraud claims and all that. Yeah. The government are basically saying that everyone on disability is a fraudster.
Yeah.
You see, and people didn't think everyone is like that. But hold on a minute, there's no one genuinely sick in the whole of Ireland.
Or this shit fucking people saying like, oh, look at that cunt on the dole, and I'm paying for him to sit at home on the couch while I'm at work. Fuck that shit. Fuck that bollocks.
But they forget about circumstances and factors.
Can those people really say like that if the fucking unemployment went down to fucking 5 or 10% now tomorrow, and everybody was working, the dole was barely being used and stuff like that? Do you really think the government are going to go, okay lads, stop paying taxes now? It's okay. You know, they're just going to find some other way to fucking take the money off you. So don't mind that bullshit.
Yeah.
Money's going to the government.
Imagine everyone was out there trying to get a job. Society would break down after a few days. There'd be anarchy.
It would.
You need all types of people to make the world go round.
Yeah,
exactly.
And what would the carers do? Do you know what I mean? They wouldn't have a job.
No, yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So, yeah, but I think, do you know, I think instead of people judging someone that might be on a social welfare payment and everything, like, as I said, you'd look at me and you're like, watch her now, and she's got her Instagram and she's got her podcast, but sure, you don't realise what that person's going through for a coat, no knickers. Exactly. Like, do you know what I mean? You've no fucking idea. So stop judging people, cunts.
There's too much of it.
Am I allowed to say that?
Yes.
Say what you like.
Yeah.
There really is, like.
Yeah.
Yeah. So how did your event go today anyway? You organised an event.
Fab,
for
lads. Oh my god, I had the biggest ball of anxiety last night.
How come we didn't get invited?
Because it was International Women's Day.
A bit sexist, isn't it? Is there an International Men's Day?
There actually is.
There is.
I think it's in November.
Are you going to organise an event for us then?
Yeah, well, actually, we're doing. Well, I think we were going to do. We were going to do steak and blowjob day, and I was saying, get steak sandwiches out, no blowjobs, obviously.
But we were steak day,
but we were going to do like men's yoga, and then there's this woman from Catwalk Hair. I don't know if you know it, but she does hair systems, so it's like hair transplants for men.
Okay,
all the qualities here.
We're
She kept to the right table.
But she basically wanted to do a demonstration on how these hair systems work. So so that was kind of the plan
just
for that.
All kind of manly things like.
Yeah, exactly. Because you know, like we do loads of stuff for
He'll
women.
get a hair transplant and he'll do yoga, and he might learn to sit with himself then as well.
I don't know.
Win-win.
Sit with myself. My
Do you
legs
meditate?
Huh?
Do any of you meditate?
I tried it once.
I couldn't.
And
If
I don't know
I
why
tried
I
to
didn't stick
meditate,
at
I'd be
it.
sitting there and I just start singing a song in my head.
Really?
Man, I tried it once before, and I swear to God, I started like hallucinating straight away. And
But that's what
What were you
happens.
taking though?
I just, I just snapped myself out of it. Then I saw like it was dark, obviously, because my eyes were closed, and then I could just see it was like a flower made out of light. That's the only way I can describe it.
Yeah.
And then it just kind of spun around like that, and
And were you just like, nah, fuck
afterwards,
this
and I
shit,
just
I'm
went,
out?
and then I just couldn't get back into it.
There's-
No, it was cool, like.
Yeah. People say it's amazing. Like I've tried and tried and tried, but I just don't have the mental capacity to do it.
I don't
But I'm going to work towards it because
You might
apparently
be-
it's incredible.
Yeah, you
I did
might be
it 2
doing it wrong
times
though.
a day for 5 months straight, and I still
Do you
couldn't
do
get into
Yeah,
I used
see,
to, I
there's
did it,
an
but
awful.
And you still couldn't get into it.
no.
There's
So
an
is it
awful
different
lot
strokes
of,
for different folks?
Everyone find their own way of slowing
So
their
what's
mind
your
down.
way of slowing down?
I'll go home. If I need to debrief or whatever, I'll go home, put on a bit of music,
Yeah.
relax.
So it's
And
music that gets it for you.
Yeah.
What
and
about
it's
you?
all about focusing on
Don't
the
have
one
it.
thing.
No, come here now. All right, hold on a second. What? Okay, because you do have it, right? Sorry, I'm going to
Just
try
have
and
what?
fucking figure this shit out now. So you feel a little bit stressed, right?
Okay.
What makes you feel good, whether it be a
Well, I
run?
suppose, if I was I suppose blasting music in the car would kind of.
What would you blast? Give me a song. What's your
Anything
fave? What's your
at all.
fave? Okay,
Heavy metal.
big booty bitches now, or
Oh yeah, that kind of shit.
Yeah.
All types of shit.
Yeah.
I literally have the widest fucking
One
variety of
Direction.
music.
vagina.
Like if people would like I used to like give people my USB stick and they'd copy my music off.
Oh,
or whatever.
really?
And they'd be
Okay.
like, "You have the most random fucking taste of
He
music."
collected me a while ago. What's that band that sings "Let Me Lick You Up and Down" and all
till
that?
you say stop.
another level.
That's who he was
I
listening
wanna
to.
play
when
with
he
your
picked
body,
me up.
baby.
Never mind him.
Did you ever hear my cover version of that? No.
No, will you
A
send
couple
me
of us
some
did a
stuff?
cover version of that song.
Yeah, I do. What about
about-
yourself?
it's
What
about
helps
getting
you
takeaways.
like calm down? decompress?
I don't know really. I don't usually get all that stressed about things like.
You were stressed out yesterday and today.
Yeah, just
you were stressed out there a minute
But see, as soon as it's done, then gone. I don't
really.
I'm not gonna sit around snapping over it all night.
I'm actually like that as well. I'm not a big man of stress.
I've often had people say to me, if you're any more relaxed, you're going to slip into a coma. Like
really,
most things just don't faze me.
I get very stressed.
When you asked me that question, I forgot that. Don't fucking
really
like if something annoys me or whatever like that. You know the way these people, I'm having a bad day, don't fucking talk to me.
Yeah.
If you piss me off tomorrow, I'm gonna be pissed off with you. But if he calls into me, then I'd be like, do you want a cup of tea, man? Okay. And I could be in the worst mood ever.
Yeah.
Do you know? But then if you come in and it's gonna be like, you pissed me off today. Do you know?
Would you say it straight out? Yeah.
Well, it depends on who it is. Like if you're my boss, yeah. But if I'm going out with you. Or if you're my boss, no. Like, but if I'm going out with you, like then I'll just say it straight, do you know, or something like that. Do you know, or if you're my, if I can say it to you, then I will.
Do you know, I'm hearing a lot of suppressed emotions here tonight. Like they're going to blow out some night now.
I'm like Ned Flanders. Things don't affect me in the way that they should. My car got robbed before, like, and I was in one of the lads' car in the passenger seat, going around trying to find my car after being robbed, and I was cracking jokes like.
Yeah, really?
That's the kind of person
like
that I am.
One of my most commonly used phrases that I say to myself in my head, like probably on a daily basis, is just it's not that serious.
Okay, well that's your way of coping.
Yeah, but it's like something that happens and it's just
mechanisms.
Yeah, so in the grand scheme of things,
maybe joking about things is my way. So.
Yeah, that's your defense mechanism. That's what your go-to thing. I'm the same kind of. I will in certain situations. You want to see me at a funeral? I think I shine most with being funny at a funeral.
Really? Yeah.
Whatever it is, that kind of sad emotions and all that, then I want to make it laugh and I want to make everything
I think it's all about putting things into perspective. Whenever, if I do have a few minutes where I start like feeling sorry for myself or stressed out or whatever, like I just think to myself, there are people out there who have actual real problems and I've no right to be sitting here feeling fucking, oh, look,
I don't know, I don't agree with that though.
Yeah.
At all. I feel like
you should be able to feel sorry for yourself.
100%. Like if something pisses you off, you can get lost in it. But if you're able to, like what you say, be self-aware and bring yourself to a point of, okay, this is bothering me, and feel the feelings, but then allow yourself to let it go. I think if you just keep brushing things off, lads,
do you know what
it stays in your body. I'm telling you, there's this thing called trauma release. Yeah, they're fucked. No, but there's this thing called trauma release exercise, TRE. Have you ever heard of it?
What's the name of it?
Trauma release exercises. No,
I'd say you do a bit of that yourself.
Listen to this. The whole thing behind it is that trauma or stress or whatever actually holds itself in your body. So it actually holds within, say, your muscles or your nerves or whatever it is. So this trauma release exercise, basically, I don't know what way it is, but if you look it up online, these people are like fucking shaking and stuff like that.
There's no separation between the body and the mind.
Yeah. So lads, don't think you're getting away with it,
all right? Can't be detached from each other.
But that's the thing. But what I like to do, if something bothers me, like you'll know it bothers me, like. But what I usually do is like short bursts, and like even if it's, I think is a very healthy thing to do. Like I've often had it with remote controls or something where it won't work and you're pressing it and you get annoyed. I scream at the remote control like, and I call it names and shit, and then it's just like it's gone out of my system straight away. Yeah. I've often like shouted at something like, "I'll fuck you into the bin in a minute if you don't work," you know, this kind of shit. And then I'm like, it's just gone straight away then.
I remember seeing my brother before. Remember, cassette tapes?
Yeah.
And remember they used to get tangled up in the fucking thing, whatever.
Able for that.
So my brother got this big fucking stereo, about that size, big fucking speakers on it back ages ago. Like, no, this was years ago, and it was like £1,000 for the radio or whatever like that. But the net was ripped on the speaker, so he got it for 500 quid. Okay. So now this was unbelievable, like whatever. So he had that at home, and he had a tape inside in it, and the tape, it was eating the tape. Yeah. So he took it out, fixed it, twisted the tape back up, and I think he put in a head cleaning tape or something like that. And he was trying to get it to work.
Know what's that about?
So it started doing it again, and he fixed it again. Whatever, blah, blah, and he had a screwdriver in his hand. I think that's what he was using to twist the tape, whatever. So then he did it a third time, and he took the tape out, fucked it on the ground, got the screwdriver, and just started stabbing inside with the tape deck open, started stabbing into it, right? And I was sitting in the corner then, I was only young at the time, and I was kind of shitting it, like sitting there, thinking, oh God, he's freaking out, like, So he went downstairs and came back up with a cup of tea, whistling, and started trying to fix the radio. And I was looking at him going, what the fuck? Like, he was snapping.
But that was his way of getting it out.
But that's what I'm after developing that now, where I can be snapping 1 minute, and then it's just like, fuck it, what's the point? Like,
I'd often end up laughing at myself then as well, but when you do a quick snap, you're just like, fucking thing, and you throw it away, and you're like, what was that?
Yeah. But like Sophie said though, the worst thing to do is not recognise the emotion. If you're aware of it and you feel it and say it and you recognise it and say, right, I'm upset.
I feel sorry for people though who are just like don't know how to snap, you know, that kind of way. Or they feel like, oh, I can't really start running a shower, I can't get a night here. So they just kind of go like,
run.
When they snap,
they push it down.
Yeah,
exactly, So I think like,
you know,
a whole series of short, quick little snaps throughout your life.
Yeah, but they've linked that all to heart disease.
Really?
Yeah.
Stress, like they're just fucking...
Look up trauma release exercises because it's actually really interesting the way that it works. So yeah, you'll be all at home shaking on your floor.
You see me snapping my time at the petrol station that time, remember?
Oh yeah.
Did we talk about that on here?
On the internet, he'd be shaking all right.
That was funny.
I don't know if that was. We went to a fucking petrol station one night. The two of us went to separate tills, and I paid with a 50, and there was some fella, I don't know where he was from. He was foreign anyway, but behind the counter, and he was like handed me back the change of a 20. So I was like, I gave you 50. He was like, no. I was like, I gave you 50. He was like, you give me 20. Just looking me dead in the eye, and I was like, no, I gave you 50. I didn't have any 20s in my wallet, so I couldn't have gave you a 20. Like,
and not even getting agitated. It was literally like that, you know?
And then he was like, no, I'll throw his eyes up, close the till, called his boss over, and he was like, this guy say he give me 50, but he give me 20 right in front of my face, because he said this fella's a liar, like. So then the boss went away sorting it out, looking at the cameras or whatever. So Walshy went to him next. Oh yeah, he went over to the other till, wasn't he?
You could see that he knew that we were together, obviously. And you know the way, like if the two of you were in a shop now and it happened to her, you'd be like, sorry, no, I saw you handing, you know. But I didn't even do that. But he knew that we were together. He saw us standing together and talking and stuff. So he knew we were together. So I walked up to the till and I was paying for a cup of tea or something, handed him a $5. And he was like, no, you give me 5, okay? Into my face. I was like, yeah. And he was like, yeah, I'm just saying, like, so what are you saying it to me for? I said, just because we're together, I said, and you made a mistake with him, you're taking it out on me. I said, that's what's happening here? Like, he was like, no, I'm just telling you, I gave you 5. I says, yeah, but you're being smart. I said, because you had a problem with my friend. You're wrong. I said, and I'm going to stand here and watch you be proved wrong now. I said, because, and I'll listen.
He came over to me then, he was like,
gave him another 5.
Gave him 50.
I went over, I was like, you
bastard had me doubting it and all. And I knew.
When he came back out, then the manager came back out, and I was sorry that I did it because the manager of the shop is actually sound. Like anytime I go in, he's always chatty, always, you know, grand. I go into the shop frequently enough, like, and he's pure sound. And I felt bad then because I was freaking out at your man, and he was kind of telling me to stop, like, and I was like, no, look, and I was thinking, that was fucking lousy, your man, like, he's actually a nice fella. But when he was proved wrong, your man didn't check the cameras, came back out, he was like, your man went over to the till per night and gave out the change at 50. I was like, no, I said, no, that's the right job for you. I said, I'm delighted. I said, and that's me freaking out then, like, you know, and then
confronting it, like,
gone, like, you know what I mean?
But yeah, just before we go off that topic anyway of meditation, I would say that fucking most people that are doing it, because this is like a thing that I've listened to, they're doing it wrong. Like, that's why it doesn't work for them, because they're trying to meditate whilst thinking about a certain thing and all this. There's all different methods out there, but like there's Alan Watts. Have you heard of him?
No.
He was like a famous philosopher. So like I've listened to a lot of his stuff, and he does a whole thing where he guides you through it. He tells you what to do and all, and the whole thing is to basically sit there and do fuck all. Like, it's like you don't meditate on something. People go, oh, that's interesting, I'll meditate on that later. He's like, you're not supposed to do that. Like, you're supposed to. He's lived out in Asia for years.
Alan
studied the culture.
Individually, you're supposed to focus on a word.
No,
on
it's not even anything.
Yeah, on a word in your head, and when you drift off, you bring yourself back.
That's one.
The guided, but he's on about the guided meditation. I've done that before.
No. It's not guided meditation. It's fucking. It's not guided meditation. He's just telling you the method. He doesn't guide you through anything or blah blah. He's just telling you the method. Like, so he studied this like in wherever the fuck meditation was invented. That's where he lived there for years and shit like that. And he said like that, like he's worked with gurus and all this shit. So he says like that they told him that the whole thing is to just like, even like the word meditation, I think it means to do nothing, like, or to still the mind or something like that. So it's literally just sit there. And he said, if you hear like a car beeps its horn outside or something, you don't go, oh fuck's sake, no, that's ruining it. He's like, you just observe it. You just observe it, like, okay, that's happening now, that's happening now. And you're just not fucking not reacting to anything and not really thinking about anything, and then your mind just starts to drift. Like, so I did it in a soft flower. I knew it was cool. Well,
my mind drifted all into the wrong things. Singing songs all in my head.
Come here, fucking you were on a show on TV there a while back, yeah? Pulling with my parents.
What we want?
Pulling with my nana. I was on with my nana and my mom. Yeah. And yeah, they set me up with these two 23-year-olds, and sure, like, I'm 28. Like, I was like, no, hun, you're fine.
Separately, or
so what is it?
separately?
Threesome to organise straight away.
Lovely.
Yeah, straight gays
How
everywhere.
do I get involved in this?
No, but you know what? The show was great fun, but I think do you know what? Dating for me at this stage of my life, I don't know. I think first of all the good ones are gone. Right?
Okay.
So I'm going to get the second round when they're divorced and they know what they fucking want. Number one. Number two, I feel like when I'm in a relationship, and maybe this is just me, but like, I feel like when I'm in a relationship, my goals and my aspirations and stuff like that kind of decrease, and I don't put as much energy into them because I'm putting energy into somebody else. And the third reason that I'm still single is because, right, I know this is going to fuck with all your minds. Okay. So, who bets? Who gambles here?
None of us.
I'd scratch card.
All right, okay. So if you were going into a betting office, right? Mm-hmm. And if you were to put a bet on a marriage that would work out or a marriage that wouldn't, in general terms, what are the odds? Which one would you put your money on?
Well, given society today,
just which one would you put?
I don't know.
It's kind of changing, I suppose. Like, isn't it?
So
Years
which one would you put your money on?
I suppose the divorce one.
Yeah.
Which one would you put your money on?
Just because I grew up around all that, you know what I mean?
Yeah, probably not work out, yeah.
Okay, so why the fuck would you?
Yeah.
Honestly, no, I'm serious. No, I'm fucking serious. Like, I know.
I'll never get married. I know that.
But
I know for
even
a fact I'll never get married.
yeah, even relationship wise, like I know it might be a weird way of looking at it and whatever else, but I just feel like fuck that. Like, do you know what I mean?
I'll tell you one thing. What you're talking there is, like you said, that your goals and everything is not being achieved.
Yeah.
Then the relationship is defining you as a person.
But I think that's my own default.
That is your own default. But when you start doing your personal development and all that, and you start to love yourself for you and all that, then the relationship is, it's a part of my life, but it's not my life.
Yeah. I don't know though.
And you can get really supportive partners who push you to achieve your goals.
I don't know though. Do you know, I like probably going to say
you must go for the needy guys, so you do.
Oh yeah, like it's definitely my own shit, like being portrayed, but like I'd like to just fart in my bed if I wanted to and not go, oh shit, I hope he doesn't smell that. I know that's so wrong to say, but like it's the truth, you know.
You're comfortable being single, like.
I'm so comfortable. I have a lovely cat. He's my best pal. His name is Mafia. No,
Mafia.
Mafia, yeah.
That's a cool name for a cat.
But he's fab, and like I don't know whether it's my own issues, whether it's modern day society, or whether I just can't find a boyfriend. I don't know. But I'm just happy where I'm at, and I just don't think that I want another half. Like
that's probably the best time to find one though.
No.
But I don't fucking want one.
It'll come when you're not looking.
Huh?
But I haven't been looking for 4 years.
Yeah.
Listen.
My vagina is dry.
I've done
I
it
don't
for
know.
years. Listen, I've done it myself for years. One of the most basic human needs is intimacy. You know, we crave it and everything. But what we also do is we sell ourselves short for the sake of that intimacy every time with partners or whatever, with relationships or one night stands and all that, you see. You know what I mean? So what you
But I get more of a buzz out of a one night stand, and that's not saying I'm a whore. Like, as in, you know, they're very few and far between, but I'd get more of a buzz out of a one night stand than I would going on a date and meeting someone for a second coffee. I'd be like, get away from me.
Yeah, but that's where
do you know what I mean?
That's where all your learning is going to come from. Is them one night stands and all that.
Well,
you see, around the intimacy.
But then again, there's nobody who like society has us to believe that everybody should find a partner, get married, and settle down.
Yeah.
But whereas the way that society is now is do whatever the fuck you want.
Yeah.
Do you know? There's nobody to say this is the right way to live your life and this is the wrong way to live your life. Only old-fashioned people who think, you have to find yourself a partner when you're fucking 17 or 18, settle down, get married, have kids, buy a house. That's the
one thing that made me, the only everything that made me kind of switch that thinking, right, was when I was in hospital, when I was very sick, before they knew what was wrong with me, I was there for 2 weeks, right? I was in St. John's and they were doing all these kind of fucking tests. There was this woman beside me and her name was Mary, right? I think she was like 84 or something. And she was extremely sick. And we just got on like a house on fire. And basically, it was so weird because it was like, I was here vulnerable, 27, like just being like, oh my god, what am I doing here? And she's at the end of her life, like she ended up dying. I went to her funeral and she was just such a fab woman, like, and I was doing her hair and doing her little lipstick every day and everything, but she lay beside me and was like, the one regret that I had was not having kids, like, you know. And she had like her nieces and nephews and everything like that come in, and like she was on her deathbed telling me I never thought I wanted kids and then I didn't have them and it was my regret. And that's the only part of me that's like, maybe I should, but at the same time I'm like, nah, don't really want that. Like, it's just not my life. It's not what I
But
thought.
in fairness, if that woman, right, on her deathbed realised that was a regret she had, right, she didn't have to live with that regret. I know it's kind of sounds a bit wrong to say, but she didn't have to live with that for most of her life or anything. Towards the end of her life, I know
was her regret.
That's fair enough. But when you're living most of your life the way that you want to, even if you get to the end of your life and think, that's not what I should have done. That's a way shorter time period to the life you have to live in. You know,
have you all got partners, or is that
I have? Yeah,
you have a partner. Have you got a partner?
No.
Have you got a partner?
No.
Okay, and would you like a partner?
They're partners.
I put my priorities first.
What are your priorities?
I'm single, over 2 years. My priorities is finish my degree in social care, do what I have to do, you know. Not put the cart before the horse kind of thing. Maybe then I'll settle down after that when I have my job.
So you feel your time to settle down is after you've all the stuff you want to do done with work and college and stuff like that.
When I'm not living with my mum and dad. you know what I mean? When I have my priorities right, you know.
Yeah.
In living with my parents, doing a degree, finish the degree, get a job, get a place, then maybe, you know.
And what about you?
What about me?
Like, do you in your future, are you like, I can't wait to settle down and have kids? Or are you like are you taking the cynical approach like me, being like, fuck that shit, or what? Like,
I was in a long relationship that ended like last year.
How long?
So 11 years. So
smell of fart every morning.
Not even thinking of anything like that at the moment. So
yeah, that's mad, isn't
see
it?
what happens. Whatever happens down the line will happen down the line. I'm not even thinking about it. Like.
Yeah, watch this now. I go to Nancy's tonight and I'll be like, lads, I found him. Do you know, I'm not totally averse to it, but
that's what happens.
Whatever. I just don't. I'm not looking for it. Do you know what I mean?
And that's when you'll find it.
Yeah.
That's always the way that I'd be when I'm single. Is like I'd end up looking for it. Like, but I remember there was one time where I actually remember kind of telling myself, you're giving up now. Yeah, you're giving up. I literally about a week after that, I ended up getting into a relationship. Really? With somebody that I never met before.
Is that because, you know, the way you were saying that you don't like being on your own? Do you think, like, are you a relationship man?
Well, I don't know really, but maybe that's what has me searching all the time when I am single. Do you know, maybe that's what had me searching when I was single, like, was the thought of just being alone. Like, I don't know. I never thought like, I'm going to be alone, I need to find someone. Yeah. But it's just, I don't know, it just kind of feels like it's
could have been in the back of your head.
Said me, when it happens, it happens. That's the way.
But there was only one time actually that I felt, I'm giving up, I'm not trying anymore, and I'm not trying to find someone, whatever, that I found someone. Do you know, whereas other times I was kind of looking and I found someone. Do you know?
Can I say one thing? Worst time to look for a boyfriend is when you really want one, because sociopaths will pick up on that. Yeah. And then they'll see, then you'll end up keep making the wrong choice over and over. Do you know what I mean?
Well, thank God I'm not fucking looking.
I think we're fucking,
exactly.
Mikey's giving me the signal. We're nearly over time already. Okay. There was a few, I only put this up earlier on, so there's only about 4 or 5 questions that people sent in, but they're mostly now our listeners take the piss like. Okay, so the first one is, your man Noel's laughs.
Oh yeah, Noel Granny. And Granny 9 for anyone on Snapchat.
I'm not even sure what this means, but he said, can she foot turf?
Can you foot turf? I think it means can you dig up turf?
Mikey know what that is. Is that what it is?
Yeah, do you know the turf that you throw on the fire? Like, you know, it's when it's cut out in the field, you have to actually stack it up to let it dry.
No, absolutely not. Don't fucking bring me anywhere near the countryside. Where's my takeaway coffee? Go on.
The next one is Peter Fleming. He said, are you related to the old Limerick hurler, Andrew LaTouche? Cosgrave?
Yeah, he's my little brother.
Surprise, Mikey. Do you know that?
I do, yeah. He plays for Limerick. He used to play for Limerick.
Yeah? Oh, so just recently enough, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. I thought when you said Limerick earlier, that was not going to be someone.
Yeah, I thought it was someone back in the day, some GAA legend or something.
Is he part of the All-Ireland team?
Yeah.
Lovely.
Yeah,
your brother?
Yeah.
All right. No. Jesus.
Few lovely days.
Yeah, I just like, as soon as I saw it.
famous people on here, like, do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was like, surely there can't be that many LaTouches around Limerick, like. Graham said, is the world round or flat?
Well, I'm going to say it's round. Because, like, that's why we thought, like.
And then Mike Hilton, for some reason, wanted to ask you, what's the best way to make things up with his missus when he's gone absolutely steaming and being a bellend? Asking for a mate, he says.
A bellend? Where's he from?
I don't know.
So, first of all, go down in her for ages.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody seems to forget that that's what we want.
She can't give out to then, really,
she
can
she? Yeah.
Because she can't be like, you're a fucking
Instead of saying sorry and all that, put them out to good use.
Exactly.
Instead of wasting it on stupid words.
That's it. So that's my advice.
So,
wait,
good advice.
Do the alphabet 100%.
Can you say that again?
No.
This one wanted to remain anonymous, but he said to ask you about the time you hopped into the Grab a Grand box in More Disco.
So you know who that is?
No.
Could be anyone.
Okay.
Grab a grind or grab
Did you grab a
Or is it one of those where the money's blown around the place inside in the box? Is that what it is?
She's right.
No fucking comment, okay?
Well done.
Okay.
Good ball anyway.
It's
more fun than
Do you know what? All I'm going to say is I won about €400. And all I did was go and buy everyone shots and brought them all to Supermax, and all the money was fucking gone. So put it to good use.
But is that what it was?
I'm not talking about it. Keep going.
Don't talk about it. My imagination is better.
Keep going.
It's a touchy subject.
No, I think that was about it, because I only put it up there a while ago.
Okay.
I have one question. I want to ask Walshy, what do you think about being in the first crossover?
Crossover?
What's that mean?
Like when the Simpsons did it with Family Guy.
Yeah.
Two podcasts crossing over.
Yeah.
Well, we're all in the podcast, like, and she's with us.
Yeah, I know that.
I think it was lovely. Thanks for having me on, lads.
It's good that we all kind of like and we know like how to do it. Like, you know?
I don't know if I know how to do it, by the way.
I do.
I don't know.
Is that why you're single?
Well, you're doing it.
You know what? I couldn't answer that question.
I'm only messing though.
Do you know?
That was a joke.
Yeah, it was a pity you had I nearly had a mental breakdown when you arrived.
Yeah, but come here, you got it together, like you got it together.
Just
about. Do you know?
Just about.
So thanks, Eugene.
No bothers, lads. I have to do a few shout outs and things to people.
I have to give a shout out. I have to only give one shout out, so I'll do mine first. I have to give a shout out to Fiverr because I sent him a song that do you remember those flip up Sagem or Sagem phones, whatever they used to be called, right?
Fab.
And do you ever remember they came with the Kylie Minogue ringtone? La 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 la. Do you ever remember that? No? That was literally the only song ringtone that was on the phone. She must have been doing a fucking sponsorship with him or something like that. But the rest of them were normal ringtones, but that was the only real song that was there as a ringtone. So I took his phone and I set that as the ringtone, and he did not know how to change it. And he was on his phone for fucking, I don't know how long, ages anyway. I don't know. He probably ended up breaking the phone off the ground or something. But the song came on the telly a while ago, and I sent him a Snapchat of it. Every time I hear the song, I send a Snapchat and he cracks up. So shout out Fiverr. Hello.
Shout out to Fiverr. Yeah, people love the old shout outs on this. You don't really do shout outs on yours.
What do you mean shout outs?
We never even...
Just listeners want us to shout them out, like.
Okay, go on.
Everyone's going to be like, is that a new tabletop?
Yeah, I was just going to say, I never even addressed this. Like, for people watching on YouTube, will already have seen, like, we have the new table with the new logo. We have 4 new seats. We have all new equipment over there, most of which isn't even set up yet because it's a pain in the fucking hole. But all paid for by our listeners through donations and stuff like so.
To Stooge for setting it all up.
Jesus Christ. It was here
and Mikey, sorry Mike.
Wait, did I help? I feel like I helped. I did. I helped.
Lads, and Laura, the TikTok queen over in the corner.
Fair play to everyone except Russell.
Shout out to Laura.
My presence here alone is enough.
I have to give a shout out to Doug, who was listening and got in touch and asked if we had any fire extinguishers in the studio, and I was like, oh fuck it, we don't. We have a lot of shit plugged in here. So
does he work for Fireman?
He sponsored us a few fire extinguishers for and the proper ones for electrical fire and all.
Did he actually?
Yeah. So that was nice of him. Shout out to him. Alan Brown asked for a shout out. He sent in a Snapchat of him listening to the podcast on his AirPods while he was getting tattooed.
Oh yeah,
he said we were distracting him from the pain. John Macaulay doubled his pledge on Patreon.
Legend.
Well done, John.
We must be doing something right. He decided to double it. We've a new patron as well, Emma Hughes from Dublin. Emma Hughes. And I think that's about it then.
Fair play,
more shout outs and things like that.
I know that we have a female who came on now. Hopefully more women will.
Yeah, see, we're not that scary.
Oh yeah.
Well, I don't know.
We
of course.
Any other female that I've mentioned it before, like, would you come on? We've never had a female. No, Jesus, I wouldn't do that.
Yeah, to think, what are we going to do? Like, fucking, fuck women, right?
Yeah. No, you were great. Like,
even more.
I thought you were going to be like.
Take the piss out of the arse.
Take the piss, yeah.
No,
it's good.
We just met you, Alex. So
yeah, I know. Yeah, sure, come here.
No,
but
I'd say
fucking hell.
Yeah, I'd say a lot of our listeners were like, is she mad going on there? Because we're always taking the piss and all, like,
yeah,
but
that's okay though.
Out of every subject, like,
I think it was actually a great chat. Like, I think it was very insightful.
And we're actually
very informative. All right, I will say that.
We're the same off air, like, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're still sound when we're not recording. Like, it's not just this front. Most of us, like.
Yeah. And anyway, we've just come to the conclusion that everyone's gay.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Everyone's going home looking up their categories of porn, being like, I'll try this one tonight.
Like all women are like spaghetti, straight until wet.
Yeah, exactly. There you go.
Is there no taking the Mikey this week, Mikey?
Oh yeah, geez, sorry.
We do a section on the show where Mikey takes the Mikey. It's like taking the Mickey, but his name is Mikey, so he takes the Mikey.
Taking the Mikey, and the jokes.
PC talk tonight, but this is gonna.
Yeah, the jokes are usually very offensive. So if you laugh, you're a bad person.
Yeah,
we always laugh.
I told our guest last week, it's up to you to laugh. People are going to judge you. So if you laugh, you're bad. If you don't laugh, you're a good person.
Yeah.
Okay. What's white on top and black on the bottom?
An Oreo.
Oh, no, you said that before.
Society.
Fuck's sake.
What's the difference between Paul Walker and a computer?
Oh no.
Oh Jesus.
I give a shit if my computer breaks.
For fuck's sake.
Who's Paul Walker?
Fellow of the Fast and the Furious, died in a car crash.
What's Al Qaeda's favourite football team? The New York Jets.
Oh, fuck.
Jesus.
I laugh at that one. 9/11's been nearly 20 years ago.
Mikey.
So it's not too soon. Where's the soundboard?
It's meant to be offensive. You look a bit shocked there.
Yeah, no, I'm just like, whoa, like that was a curveball.
Yeah.
She's going like, I asked to come on again.
Yeah.
Cool.
Yeah, I said that's about it. So
Is that
it?
so?
Cheers for coming on. Everyone check out Fur Coat and No Knickers podcast.
Yeah, and by the way, you spelt it with a KN. It's an NICKERS. And do you know why I spelt it Fur Coat No Knickers with the wrong spelling?
Why?
Because everyone would ask, why did you spell it like that?
Oh yeah. Also as well, that's an old advertising trick, isn't it? Spell a word wrong on purpose so it sticks in people's
They
head.
just think you're...
If someone saw it, they'd be like, that fucking word was spelled wrong, and it sticks in their head longer.
And plus, actually, the domain as well. www.furcoatnoknickers.
You have a website.
I have a website, but I haven't officially announced it yet. So there you go. Haha.
So where can people find you with that username?
So I'm on Instagram as Sophie LaTouche.
Okay.
So Sophie LaTouche, not fucking touchy.
But that's how you spell it.
Touch
Yeah,
with an E.
LATOUCHE. And then I have the Fur Coat No Knickers podcast Instagram page, but I just haven't posted anything there. So I don't know. That's kind of the next step. I'm meeting with a guy that does marketing on Monday, and I'm starting season 3.
Just do it.
Yeah. So I don't know.
Meeting with these guys.
But you know what? I'm definitely going to, I think season 3 is going to be a little bit different because I'm kind of, I feel like, do you know, we've like got a plateau thing going on, and I'd be very honest to admit that, and kind of, okay, well, if that's, let's just fucking change it up a little bit. So yeah, we'll wait and see.
Interesting. No, it's a good podcast anyway. I'd say I've listened to I only came across it like about 2 weeks ago when you followed us or whatever, and like I'd say I've listened to probably about 6 episodes
really
or more. Yeah.
Okay.
There's a few of the people on there like that I would know of, like, do you know what I mean? Friends of friends and all that crack, like, so listen to a few of them. Interesting
I'm happy
guests.
you enjoyed them.
Yeah, they were known, all very, very different topics and everything, like.
The uniqueness. You're bringing your uniqueness to the show.
Yeah.
Also, you don't.
That's what people will relate to.
You don't talk too much either.
No.
Did you know these fuckers that bring a guest on to tell their story and then they don't shut up?
I'm probably talking loads now though.
That's
good.
different.
Yeah.
But like when you're interviewing someone, basically, like you let them talk, like, which is grand.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Do you know, like someone who was on the moon or something, they're like, when I was on the moon, be like, oh my god, that reminds me of a time, and they won't let them tell the stories.
And I admire your cards.
Oh yeah, you have the little cards.
Put in some good research before it. So
I don't.
You don't.
You just throw up a question.
You're winging it.
Completely.
Not written on the cards.
You go.
Well, there's a few bits, like, you know, but no, fuck it.
I should have posted earlier in the week that you were coming on.
Here,
but like,
whatever.
I wasn't.
Who
I
gives
was
a shit?
up to my eyeballs trying to get this put back together.
We had a fucking great conversation.
I know, yeah.
So fuck everyone.
But I wasn't even.
Not fuck all of you, but like, you know.
Oh, we say that
fuck
sometimes.
Everyone, sure, fuck everyone's gay.
That is my motto, though. Fuck everyone. You're all gay.
Oh yeah.
Spectrum bastards.
So we can all fuck each other.
Yeah. Fuck everyone.
Everybody gay.
All right, so Mikey, finish us out.
Wrap it up.
Okay, sorry.
Log on to ccpodcast.ie and all the links for everything around there, social media and otherwise.
Thanks, Puns.
And log on to
everyone.
Fur Coat No Knickers, Sophie LaTouche, what?
Yeah.
Because we're all no knickers around there. Like, what's it called? What's them jackets before we end? The
Johnny
ones in
Teddy Bear.
Ted Baker.
No, I had it in my head.
Mac.
The ones in Brown Thomas.
Canada Goose.
Canada Goose and no jocks we are.
What? Love it.
Oh, you have a rival.
Spend about a year's car tax on a jacket. No thanks.
Bye, bitches.
All right, play it out, Mikey.
We do it.